in Lincoln.
There's nothing like the view from the cheap seats.
Good morning, sports fans. Welcome to the Cheap Seats on 96.3 FM. We're streaming live on the web at WLCNonline.com. You can follow us on Twitter at WLCN Sports. And we're on the old Facebook. Good morning, Scott Kirby, Joe Ryan, Jake Johnston, Lloyd Kirby, Jim Ash with you this morning from Joe Ryan Country Financial, where if you come up today, we will do what, Joe?
We'll give you a nice Christmas cookie out front.
A nice Christmas cookie.
In a coffee mug. There you go. In a coffee mug. There you go.
All right. So
there's your prizes for today.
Maybe he'll even fill it.
We'd like you to return the coffee mug back. Yeah, we'll fill the mug, but we'd like you to return it.
It's a return. Yep. And what's
Still
the
gonna borrow it for a day or two.
Yeah.
Sign it out.
Keep it over the holidays.
Yeah.
And he'll give you a free quote on life insurance.
Yes.
Free. All quotes are free.
All quotes are free.
Yep.
Don't be misled by the ones that charge you money.
Yeah.
Good morning, guys. It is a couple of days before Christmas, so most of us have our Christmas shopping done, Jake. A certain individual to our right,
To not be named. To be named later.
if you're viewing this online later, to our left, your left,
His right.
has not even begun.
When is it?
Got a couple of days.
Hold on.
Oh, look, Santa's here.
Hey, he's on.
Good thing he changed the subject quickly.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. I'll bet here's a guy that doesn't do a lot of Christmas shopping.
Oh.
I don't want to read into anything, but
there's people that know him as Santa Claus.
Yeah,
I'm betting he's not a shopping man.
he's 365 days a year.
Happy birthday to you.
And it is Santa Claus's birthday today.
Happy birthday.
It's Coach Al's birthday today. Happy birthday, Coach.
Happy 50th, Coach.
Well, it's big week for the old coach.
I take
Yeah.
that to heartbeat.
Coach Al joins us now on the Cheap Seats, as he does every Saturday morning from, I don't know, Thanksgiving till hopefully end of March.
I think it's worth $150. That's why he shows.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, sure.
like,
Maybe I go Christmas shopping then.
Come on, tell the truth. You don't do any Christmas shopping.
Oh, no. We do it together.
Yes, that's.
You know,
man, I don't like shopping.
He likes to go Christmas shopping because at the end he gets to go out to eat. Now, the before stuff, I think, you know, his wife would just like to leave him at home as well as mine as well. So, yeah, that's they don't take us Christmas shopping too often.
And there's a reason for
Yeah,
it.
there is. Coach, good morning and happy birthday once again. It's been an exciting week for you. Some big news came out at the beginning of the week. We're going to be doing some work to the floor here coming up here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I guess so.
And that's the response I was expecting. Now, for those that don't know and live under a rock, they are dedicating the court to Coach Neil Alexander Court. That's a pretty big honor if you think about it. Now, you're going to say, yeah, it is, yeah, but, you know,
there's a lot of people that's gone into that. You know, you have your players, you have your assistant coaches and the community that supported our kids and makes it easy to play there and makes it a great environment. And, you know, I've been very fortunate to be in a great place to coach. And one of the things that, and I even got a note from Coach Wallace, who's a dear friend and one of my coaches, and you know, he stated the fact that he would have never left here if he'd have known what he knew after he left. And that stuck with me for a long time, and, well, it still sticks to me that it is a great place to be. And it's just been an honor to be able to coach the kids in our community and do the things that we've been able to do. And I've met a lot of great people because of basketball and sports, and you know, it's a really an honor that, you know, I never even, Joe was there when they announced it, and I was surprised. I was over just kind of scribbling on my sheet of paper.
I thought you were taking notes.
Yeah, I was. Well, you know, like you take notes. I might take more than you.
Well, that, you know, that just goes to show, I mean, there's good coaches all over the nation, but, you know, a lot of those, this is a big recognition to have, you know, your name on the court, to where years to come it's going to be there. You know, just like, you know, we're going to Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. You know, that's just what it is. And now, you know, that's going to be part of it. It's a huge honor, and, you know, congratulations, and we look forward to celebrating that January 6th. They're going to have some stuff going on out there. So we invite all, past players and anybody that's been affiliated with the basketball program or just Lincoln Community High School in a whole, come out and support it and, enjoy the...
You know what that says to me?
What's that say to you?
Well, after what former coach said to coach, sounds like he's never going to retire. He's strapped in for the long haul.
It's been a long haul. 42 years.
42 years of coaching. And it all started, I know we've probably went back this before, it all started back in a little town of...
Manito.
No. Joy Westmer. Which it's not even there anymore. It's...
No, I've been to 4 different stops. 2 of them have closed their doors. Joy Westmer now is part of Aledo, and I believe that's called Mercer County. And Monmouth Yorkwood is part of Monmouth United, which used to be the old Monmouth Warren school district. So it's consolidated with Monmouth Yorkwood and then Bushnell, Prairie City. I spent 12 or 11 years there, and then the last 28 here.
28 years.
28 that years. Tells me that he better never retire, or we might lose our school.
Well, Bushnell's still going.
Okay,
but they've had to consolidate some of their sporting stuff over there too. That's just the way it's going with these small towns. So.
Coach, I was reading through those minutes the other night at the board meeting about us doing this. Are you nervous about what did it say? Was it 8 to 10 minute speech that you would give at the ceremony?
I'm passing that off to you, 10? Joe.
I mean, that's something that you got kind of a speech writer.
8 to 10 seconds.
And he has an agenda. He can make you up an agenda for it. I mean, keep you right on point.
And then other people will change that agenda, which makes it obsolete.
Oh, you got to go at least 8 minutes on a speech. That'd be good.
Oh, I'm not going
at half court, speech. Lights down.
No speech. He's got a game.
We got a game.
The other idea I came up with, I talked to you about the other night. I think that's the night that you put on a regular jersey and bust out of that.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'd trip over that bar.
Why not? I think that's fun.
Well, Coach, on to stuff that we know you really want to talk about, and that's gameplay. Last night, Charleston comes into town. Give us your take on the game, what you got out of it. Once again, we've talked about it before. These teams we're getting a first look at, and give us your take on how the kids were. How many games into the season now? 11, 12, 10.
8 and 2 is 10.
8 and 2 equals 10.
He'll be there Christmas.
Anyway, you're 10 games into the season. Kids starting to gel a little more. I know defenses are staple, but how are they responding?
Well, Drew's getting back into the flow of things, and Drew's an important part because he can be an effective weapon from the perimeter. We got to rolling in the second half there where he hit a couple threes, and that really extends the defense. The first half, I don't think we hit a three the first half, and they were able to set back in and protect the lane where we couldn't get to it, but when you start hitting the threes, it sure opens things up, and that was allowed us. I think somebody said we had a 28-2 run last night in the second half, and that allows that to happen. And I've said all along these kids can really guard, and it's really unheard of today that you hold teams to 20 points. We held Taylorville, which was a really good offensive team, to 21-20. I think the most we've given up this year, 48. We got beat 48-42 by Muhammad, but we held them down until the fourth quarter, and we forgot that defense was our staple. And once and I still don't think our kids really know how good a defensive team they can be. We're strong, we're quick, we can be aggressive, and you can get out and pressure people when you got somebody sitting back in the paint that's going to spike the ball on you.
That was my next question. Does it help to have size?
Oh gosh, yes. And we've tried. We've looked around to, playing a little bit differently than I've ever played, and that's, we've looked at a 2-3 to try to keep him in the paint to where he doesn't have to go to the corners. But it's so hard to break our old habits of how you play the 1-2-2 and how aggressive the 1-2-2 is, to become more laid back, and the movement's a little bit different. So, we've played with it a little bit. It hasn't been very successful in practice, so until it's successful in practice, you're not going to see it.
Is it something that you kind of can adjust? You talk about, and them getting out on that corner guy for the shot, maybe moving him onto the weak side where, he doesn't have to get out there as much, or is that something you guys fiddle with, or is this is what you do?
Teams aren't, the teams we play they're pretty well coached, and they're going to set somebody in his corner.
Yeah.
They're going to find the guy that doesn't cover the corner, and you can hear us when they start hitting the outside shots. It usually happens on the same side because that person's not getting out, and they're going to work that side. So we just got to be strong enough, tough enough to be able to get out there. But Jermaine is so long, he doesn't have to belly up on anybody to guard him. He can stop 5 feet short and still be able to intimidate shots and things and block them. But when he does go to the corner, he takes him off the board. So that's kind of what we're playing with the 2-3. We're playing around with a little box and one, just taking our point off and playing our defense regular. But that doesn't help Jermaine out of keeping him out of the corner.
Did you think one of the turning points was when we went ahead and got that kid in the game late for you there in the is that right before half?
Was that the timer? Yeah, and the official shouldn't have let him in.
I turned my head for 1 second, and they threw it in.
Oh, Joe.
And then the Charleston fans started in.
I was wondering if you were still there.
He was there physically, but mentally.
I watched the whole thing. You yelled sub. I turned my head, looked, hit the horn. He'd already threw it in. It was funny. The Charleston fans started going, "They're already good. You don't have to
but
cheat."
The official shouldn't have let him in.
Yeah, I know. He already had the ball. I think the kid may have taken 3 or 4 steps and a couple of dribbles.
Yeah.
Was this before or after the 28-2 run?
It started the run, I think.
I think so.
It was
Joe
a catalyst.
Was a big part of that.
Yes, it was a catalyst.
Thanks, Joe. You need to do the clock every game, home and away.
Home and away.
Well,
You just show up and say, "I'm Joe. I'll take care of the clock."
Sometimes things don't go the way you want them to. You
go
know what I
on.
mean? Sometimes that stuff happens.
Well, you get caught up in the game, and sometimes you forget to flip.
I was on top of it. I only looked away for a second.
When Coach Al yells sub, he wants a sub.
Well, these coaches got to get some kids in the game earlier. I was trying to help. Hey, we had a caller send something in here. The Pool Man. You know the Pool Man? Pooley? Troy Poole? He'd like to know how you let your only daughter marry Cub fan. He'll hang up and listen.
Well, that's a whole nother show right there.
Yeah, I was disappointed.
Still is.
And we're going to go to a commercial.
Yeah.
Well, in my defense,
And she was a Cardinal fan. She was.
hey, he married a Cub fan and converted her.
No.
Denise was never a Cub
She'd
fan?
never been a Cub
Oh.
fan.
Okay.
Well, her mom and dad were huge Cub fans. Her mom was one of the biggest Cubs fans you'll ever meet.
Mhm.
Denise's mom.
Well,
Her whole family was Cub fans except her, because she would go down. She had some aunt and uncles that lived in St. Louis, and she spent a lot of time down there in the summer times, and she got to liking the Cardinals, and she's always been a Cardinal fan. So I didn't convert her.
Well, we're going to have to work on that.
That ain't going to happen.
We're going to have to work on
Yeah, he did. I know I'm a disappointment, but
you know what?
that's just everything I do.
But you don't really know it until the holidays come around, and then he's around all the time.
God, what's he doing here? Jesus, can't get rid of him.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about a happier moment. Let's talk a little bit about the tournament. That's all coming up.
That is coming up.
We drew Hazelwood East out of St. Louis, and we have seen them play. They're 7-1, and for being a top 4 seed, I thought the pairings that we got, the draws that we got, were.
Hold on, Coach. 7-1 equals 8.
They played 8 games.
Okay.
So we, they're really good. And, if you happen to win that game, then you're going to have to turn around and play Quincy, who, they got beat earlier in the year by Moline by, I think, 38 maybe. But they've won every game since, and they've been on a roll. So it's not an easy thing, but the reason we want to play teams like that. We need to play teams like that are going to challenge us and see if we can respond to being in, hopefully, some good basketball games.
Hope you're getting that championship.
Absolutely. Well, that's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's fun. That's a fun time.
You play in the tournaments, and with the new format that the IHSA's come out with, that you can play 31 games regardless. You can play in as many tournaments now. This all begins next year, but you can have 31 games on your schedule. You can play in 5 tournaments if you want. But the only stipulation now is the only stipulation is you get 5 games per tournament. You can't go over that. You can get 3. So it really helps, like the Springfield schools out that's playing in 3 tournaments, only 3 games. They're going to be able to pick up some non-conference games. So we're really hoping that we can get back to our rivalries with Southeast and Lanphier and things like that with the new format next year.
Well, with the new format, explain a little bit how the format is now. You're only allowed
The format right now is predicated around how many tournaments you play in, and the max tournament you can play in is 3. The most games you can play in a tournament is 5. So if you've got 3 tournaments, you're allowed to play in 3 tournaments plus 16 games. If you're in 2 tournaments, you can play in 18 games, and if you're in 1 tournament, you get 19 games plus the tournament. If you don't play in any tournaments at all, you could play 21 games.
So you're cutting yourself way short.
So if you don't play in any tournaments and somebody plays in 3 tournaments and gets the max games, they could play 31 games to take for, let's say, Joe doesn't play in any tournament. He only gets 21 games scheduled. So
that's interesting.
That was something that we put in as we even put a proposal in. Ours was 30 games, but because we felt that was an even rounded number. So I think it's Carlinville that presented the 31 games, and I'm okay with 31 games. You used to be able to, or have to count tournaments. Kids could only play in 3 tournaments plus the state tournament. So if you had a freshman that wasn't on the varsity, they could play in 4 tournaments. But just like in people want to know if you're beating somebody bad in our Thanksgiving tournament, there's some kids that never got off the bench.
Right.
There was a reason for that, because they could only play in so many tournaments. Yep. So you don't put them in and waste them for a quarter here in a blowout when later down the road they're going to play a full tournament with the freshman schedule or the sophomore tournament. Yeah. So that's where it's at now. Now then, you can play as many tournaments as you want. The only stipulation they have now is
you can't play more than 5 games.
5 games per tournament. Plus, you have to have it done in 10 school days. So people were playing, the tournaments were playing in. Like we put one together, it's called the Central Illinois here in January, which we're only going to get 4 games. But we're doing it in about 10 days. We've got Canton, we got Morton, Washington, and Muhammad Seymour and Lincoln. We're counting our Muhammad Seymour game as a conference game in a tournament, so that allows us to pick up another non-conference game. All that's going to be gone next year. It's not going to matter. It's going to hurt some tournaments, like it's hurting our tournament, our Christmas tournament right now, to fill it out to have 6 teams. Right now we only have 4 teams, and I probably don't see that changing. So we used to run, when I first got here, a tournament with only 4 teams and play Thursday, Friday, or Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. But we used to, when you only had the 3 games, you lost those other 2 games that you couldn't pick up. Now you can take those 2 games and go somewhere else and place them in your schedule as a non-conference game and pick up a Southeast or a Lanphier or somebody. So It's really changed. It should help the scheduling, but it is going to put some more deadlines on teams like us that are running a tournament. So I can tell the teams that we have, hey, we only got 3 games. You need to go out and find you 2 others.
Right.
So that's going to be the fact. I don't think it'll affect the Christmas tournaments, but I do think it'll affect your Thanksgiving tournaments. And realistically, you know, just like we used to have the Meyer Classic, and they're doing away with that. They can go back and just play it as a regular scheduled game. So that's what they're going to do. They're just going to eliminate that tournament, but they're going to still be able to get the same number of games in.
Well, it sounds more cut and dry now, and you know, it's people understand it more. Whereas you go and, like you said, do your scheduling. You know what you have, and you don't schedule your.
You know, we go to. We've been playing 30 games because we play 5 games in our tournament. We'd play 5 games in the Meyer Classic. Well, this year we only got 4 in that Central Illinois, so we only have 29 games this year. So we're going to be able to pick up 2 more non-conference games next year. So we're hoping that Lanphier, Southeast.
Right. That's fun.
Yeah, those are good games.
Gym.
Those are good rivalry games and everything. So.
Well, Coach, we'll let you go here. We got the Collinsville Tournament coming up, kicking it off with Hazelwood East.
Hazelwood East at 1 o'clock next Thursday. And the second day, you'll play 2 regardless. But you definitely want to win that first day to stay in the main gym.
Stay in the main gym. And then just kind of looking a little bit past that, we're going to come back home game January 6th against Chicago Harlan.
Chicago Harlan, I have not seen them play. We'll go the day after Christmas to see them. We'll go to Chicago on the 26th. Then we'll go back to 27th to watch Waukegan play. So,
and then play in your own.
And then we've got to still figure out how to get to Washington, Morton, and Canton to scout them. We get those 5 teams scouted. We'll be.
You want Joe to scout for you?
No.
All right, Coach. Well, enjoy your birthday heading down to St. Louis for the Bragging Rights Tournament.
Yeah,
correct?
we're going to go down there today, and it's a little change in our normal Christmas activities. But
yeah, usually we're celebrating somebody's birthday today, but
we're junking that.
Yeah, we're just going
to go to commercial. You can go ahead and give me the gifts that you got him.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'll go ahead and leave.
Heading down there, you know, Illinois kind of. They're a young team. Just have to learn how to finish. They've been in every game. They're just can't get over that hump.
Well, they got to have better starts.
Yeah.
You know, they're down big at halftime and they fight back. But you know, I think they have consistently played hard. And
yeah, it's a much different team to watch.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
And they make things interesting. They, you know, but like you said, they are young and. It's just like, you know, I tell everybody, you know, I've played freshman on the varsity. You know, Gavin Block was a freshman when Gavin played. There's a lot of them that we've played, but if you take a freshman and they become your number 1 option, they draw the number 1 defender, that is really hard. Mm-hmm. And Illinois just doesn't have enough depth to where your juniors and seniors require the number 1 defender to take the pressure off these freshmen. So these freshmen are going to be in a year or 2. They're going to be really something to watch, I think.
Plus and the recruits they got coming.
Yeah, I mean they're still exciting as well. Still lacking some size.
Got to have some size.
We were at the Maryland game and we were sitting right down there by there, and Maryland comes out and they're just they're monsters. And
they are huge.
They're huge.
Gavin played them, and I talked to Gavin the other day. He says it's unreal how big they are.
And the leading scorer on that game was probably about Joe's size.
In shape.
Yeah.
In shape.
But I'm saying just size. Okay. I mean, not shape.
Oh.
He's well above that. But
so he's around 190 pounds?
Probably soaking wet. Yeah. All right, Coach, we'll let you go. Enjoy your birthday today. We'll be watching that game on TV tonight, so if you can get up and wave at us.
Wave at the camera.
Wave at the camera. That'd be good.
I'll be going.
Wear your cheap sheets.
He's not here. He's not here.
He's not here with us today. Get rid of him. All right, Coach. Thanks for coming in. Good luck at the Collinsville Tournament. No show next Saturday. We'll see you January 6th.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break. We come back. We're going to have the wrestling coach with us, Coach Dietrich. We're going to talk some wrestling. Maybe Jake or Joe can get on the ground and show us some moves.
I think Jake's going to demonstrate
a little demonstration.
Something. Yes.
All right, well, stay tuned. You're in the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung.
All right, good morning. Welcome back to the Cheap Seats.
AC/DC.
AC/DC, yes. You got it, Jake. You are so smart. Welcome back to the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM. We're at Joe Ryan Country Financial, and we're moving from one coach to the next. We've got the Lincoln Community High School wrestling coach, Coach Dietrich, with us this morning. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, guys.
Finally get a free Saturday where we can get you in here. I know it's been pretty busy the past several Saturdays with up in some wrestling tournaments. I know you had one in Pontiac, and just recently, wasn't it?
Pontiac was 2 weekends ago, I believe.
Okay.
It all starts running together after a while.
Having some early success, Coach. I know you have a young team.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of tell us a little bit about your team right now, and how you're looking and what you can expect for the future.
Yeah, we are a young team, but we did get off to a good start. I think we got off to a 5-1 start. Right now we're sitting at 6-6. And it's not, honestly, I think we're wrestling the best we've wrestled all year in the last 2 weeks. That final week, right before break, going into it, I knew that we could wrestle well and go 0-4 that week. We ran into, I think, 3 out of the 4 teams we wrestled that week were ranked in state. And the other team that isn't ranked was Normal Community, and they're a 3A. Wrestling has 3 divisions, and they're a 3A school, and they're really
pretty
tough.
Big school.
Yeah,
to be wrestling.
They're really tough, and we just didn't line up well with them. But honestly, we wrestled that night. We wrestled Springfield, and Springfield has won the conference. They won conference 2 years ago. They got second last year. They're probably one of the top, the CS8 schools. They're probably one of the top 2 schools again. We had a chance to beat them with 2 matches left of the night, and we're getting a lot of good stuff from a lot of guys that have stepped up, and same with Clinton that weekend. Clinton's ranked 3rd in state. I mean, they're absolutely loaded right now, and we wrestled well with them. We competed well and just ran into some good competition that last week, but we're not backing down. I mean, that's what I've been really happy to see from especially our younger guys, because we are relying on some younger guys to step into some roles. And what's kind of crazy is, and it's kind of a frustration of wrestling, but it just is what it is, but you have 14 weight classes. Just because you have 14 guys on a team doesn't mean you have 14 weight classes full. Right. I mean, and what's crazy is we've got the most kids, at least since I've been head coach in the last 5 years, we got the most kids we've had on the team this year. And for the first month of the season, we were forfeiting 3 weights.
So that's if you don't have somebody participate in that weight class, that's a forfeit.
Right, exactly. And so where like Clinton, honestly, going into the final couple matches, we had one match turn on us late that we were kind of expecting to win, but if we put that one down and we get through that one, we gave Clinton 18 points and forfeits, and we should have lost 48-30. And they're ranked 3rd in state, and we gave them 18. So, we're getting there, and I think the second half of the season, I think we're going to be wrestling the best we've wrestled all year, and we put them through a pretty hard practice. We had practice from 7 to 9 this morning. We went pretty hard. We went hard yesterday, but attitudes are good, and wrestling is a long, tough, grindy season, and you can have those ups and downs, and with the younger team, it's going to be expected. You're going to have your highs are probably going to be a little bit higher, your lows are going to be a little bit lower, and we like what we see with the guys. And like I said, even starting, I think we've got 2 or 3 freshmen in our lineup right now, and they're doing well. So
you think the new weight rules, does that hurt you with having forfeits because you got
with the weight certification?
How much
not necessarily. It's really like this year, I don't think it really changed anything for us as far as having those weights. And really, like, there's been a couple guys. What's crazy is from at 126 and 132, we have 8 guys in those 2 weights. And at 170, we have like 6 guys. And so those 3 weight classes right there, we have like half our team, you know. And what we have to do is, like, for example, at 126 and 132, we had one guy get his weight down to 120, which was Colton Davis, so that was good that he was able to get there. And then we've got Austin O'Donohue, and we've got Justin Nguyen and Brandon Schweitzer at like 26 and 32, and those guys, where we're kind of blessed this year is we have some very good backups, guys that would be starting on varsity teams, on other teams. And what we can do is we can take some guys and bump them up a weight, and then we can take like Trevor Bree and Jake McCrae and bump them up a weight, and we can spread. Luckily we have the versatility, and we're good enough at those weights that we can turn 2 weight classes into like 5, and that's what we're doing. Now we're giving up weight in some of those weight classes, but like guys like Jake McCrae and Trevor Bree, they've had to wrestle up a lot this year and have come through for us really big. I mean, Jake McCrae came out his sophomore year, never wrestled up until his sophomore year. He's a senior now. He's one of our captains, and he's won us a couple duels because we've had to bump him to like 145, and he's beaten some kids that he's given up like 15 pounds to, that's a lot to give up in
What's
wrestling.
your limit on the bump? Is there one?
You can, whatever weight class you weigh in at, you can wrestle that weight or one above. And so what we've really, and where it kind of gets a little bit more complicated is with the weight certification. So whatever weight you certify at is your regional weight. And so, for example, like Jake McCrae, he's a cross-country kid. I don't know if you guys know him. Mm-hmm. Just walks around at like 132, 133. And like I told him 6 months ago that he had to put on 10 to 15 pounds in the off season, and he put on like 1. And he's like, "I'm trying, coach. I'm trying." He just has high metabolism.
Cross-country's not helping.
Yeah. And but so he comes in. So what we've done with Jake is we'll weigh him in at 138, where he's really already given up 5 pounds, and we'll weigh him in, and then sometimes we'll bump him since he's technically weighed in at 138. Then we bump him to 145, and which, I mean, he's been awesome about it, and like I said, because of his unselfishness and his leadership on the team, we've performed well because we're covering 5 weights with like 5 or 6 different guys, but those guys are all really at 2 weights, but we're getting it done, and it's been fun and exciting. But now we get ready for the second half of the season, and we've got our holiday tournament coming up, which Joe Ryan sponsors us for. Thank you, Joe.
Oh,
it's a fun tournament.
Yeah, very
He's
good.
Got signs all over the place.
All over.
Mm-hmm. Now, you talk real quick. You talk about weights. Do you have to weigh in each match, or is it a beginning of the season thing, or it's a weekly thing?
Trust.
Well, right. Well, with the weight certification, you do have it's kind of like a preseason weigh-in, where you have to pay a certified body fat tester to come in, and they just do, it's a 2-minute job, and they have to, that's when they certify, and they plug those numbers into a computer, which goes to the IHSA, and then based on that information, the computer says that's what your wrestler can go. And what it's trying to do is, back in the 80s and 90s, when wrestlers were hurting themselves and and doing things the wrong way, it eliminates that, because it used to be that whatever your first weigh-in was at, early in the season, where some guys, you've got football players, coming in kind of elevated in their weight, and then they're trying to get down to a wrestling weight, and that's where guys used to get in trouble years ago. And now it's more of it's a stair step down throughout the season is the best way I can explain it. So you don't have guys doing that. And we still have one guy certifying this week even. Yeah, he's been wrestling all season, but his certified week is this week. And you don't know really until they plug the numbers into the computer where that goes. But
so as you travel and you, like maybe at this tournament coming up, how many teams are in it?
We've got 25 now.
25?
Yeah, 25 teams.
You're scouting around to see who's at what weight, who might be where to help to give your guys the best chance when they hit the regionals.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, right now, too, I wouldn't say we're worried, especially at a tournament. You're probably not worried about that as much because if you try and avoid this guy, then you're feeding right into somebody else, from a different place that is really good. That later in the season, we might start looking at more stuff like that, but right now it's about
that's why I wondered when you started doing that. When did you start?
Yeah, not so. I mean, we're kind of paying attention, as far as like, hey, that's a regional team. We'll need to pay attention on them or follow them, but we're not too worried about it right now, too. And with wrestling, it's kind of a catch-22. I mean, you do want to pay attention to other teams and other wrestlers, but at the same time, like, wrestling is a sport that, like, when you get good enough, you should be dictating everything. You should be dictating the pace of a match and the way a match goes. I mean, just think about a boxer, I mean, you're not gonna avoid things with boxing just because that other guy does something well. You're gonna try and create the pace of a fight. So same thing in wrestling. I mean, you're just trying to create pace and trying to do the things that you do well, and that's what we want our guys to focus on too. We don't want them to get caught up too much into focusing just on one person, because even at a regional, you're going to wrestle 3 or 4 guys that day. So where it's a little bit different than maybe like basketball or football or even baseball, where hey, we're going to go play one team this day and we're going to prepare for that one team, for a couple days. This is, you're going to get 3 or 4 different guys. You're going to get 3 or 4 different styles, and really all you can do is control what you do. So
you just concentrate on their strong points, and then hopefully it fits in with that match.
Yeah.
Now, have you started into conference matches yet? As far
not
as
yet.
Apollo?
That starts in January. We come back. We have El Paso, who another ranked team. We have El Paso when we come back from break. We go down to the Carbondale tournament that weekend, and then that following week we start conference.
Now, how does Lincoln stand, or predicted to finish in the Apollo? I never really saw any anything on the papers or anything like that. But I can tell you from where we're at, I mean, we fit in with the best teams, and I'm excited to go compete with them. But there's 3 or 4 tough teams in that conference as well. There's Muhammad, who's ranked, I think, 10th right now. So they'll be the top team to beat probably year in and year out. They're going to be the team that everybody's kind of chasing. And then Mattoon's really good this year. Mount Zion is really good. And, we kind of fit in with them. And if we wrestle really well, and I think if we do things the way that we can do them, we can compete and hopefully come up with a couple wins with them. And honestly, like even Muhammad, if we line up well with them as far as where our better guys are and their better guys are, we might be able to compete there too. So
talk about the tournament. Who are the teams to watch the tournament? Who would be the faves coming? And do we have conference opponents in it?
We do. I know Mount Zion's coming for sure. Like I said, there's 25 teams.
And when is this?
It is this Thursday and Friday. So, when I think basketball's down at Collinsville. Yep. Or do they play for 3 days?
Yeah, they're Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
And we're wrestling Thursday, Friday.
And the championships, I guess that's
Friday.
Like 3 o'clock? Or?
Probably sooner. I'm hoping like 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. It's pretty neat, and we're starting to draw some pretty good interest from some really good teams in the state too.
Yeah, we cut you off there when we were trying to figure out who would be a favorite.
Yeah, well,
top.
There's I'm trying to think here. Pekin won it last year, and they're coming back. Man, now you're putting me on the spot.
That's right. Lincoln, right? Lincoln's
stuff, right?
Lincoln's
yes,
Lincoln's okay. There we go.
But no, what's kind of cool about our tournament, and where a lot of teams enjoy it, is you get about 5 or 6 schools from up north, like north of I-80, that come down to it because it's over a holiday. It's 2 days. And then you have probably 7 or 8 schools from southern Illinois, that St. Louis area, and they come up. And so, they like it because those northern schools get to see some southern schools they never see. And same with the southern schools get to see northern schools they never see throughout the season. And one other thing that we've changed about our tournament, we made this change a year ago, is we changed it to a Scramble style tournament. And what that is we try and fill every weight to 24, to a 24-man bracket. And instead of just doing a traditional bracket like what you'll see at regionals and sectionals and state, we do what's called a Scramble, where those 24 guys get put into 8 pools with 3 guys in a pool. So 3 times 8 is 24. You can take ibuprofen for a headache, Joe.
No, it's here. Help you. I about said something, but
Yeah.
Well, now who'll be figuring it out? Will that be Shannon? Shannon
Yeah.
that out?
Oh, actually, we run it on what's called track wrestling, and it does it for you. We plug the names in. Actually, even the coaches plug the names in. But what it does is, so you get put in a 3-man bracket or a pool on day 1, and you're going to wrestle 5 matches. No, I'm sorry. You're going to wrestle 2 matches in that pool, and then from there you go to a bracket based on. So you go in your pool. You go 2-0, 1-1, or 0-2, and based on how well you perform, you go to a top bracket, a middle bracket, or a lower bracket within your weight. And then you end up wrestling. Let me see. You get 2 that first day. You can end up getting 5 more matches out of that based on that bracket. And why teams like that is because whether you're a state placer or whether you're a first, second year wrestler, you're going to end up in a bracket with guys like you, and you're going to end up getting a lot of good competitive matches. And so over the 2 days, you can get 5 to 7 matches. And schools really like that. And like I said, we've even had some top schools inquiring about getting into our tournament for that reason.
So I saw the email the other day. You want to put a shout out there for help? Are you good with volunteers?
I still need a couple more spots. So anybody that wants to come help us out at the tournament.
Well, tell you what, let's take a quick commercial break. We'll come back and we'll finish up with you, Justin, and we'll finish up the show, and then we'll get more about the volunteers and stuff like that. So stay tuned. You're in the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM. Looking for the on-air light-up sign?
It should glow.
On air. We just get this.
Elvis Presley.
Welcome back to the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM. We are at Joe Ryan Country Financial. All you got to do is drive around town. You see those signs everywhere. I mean, Joe Ryan Country Financial is Lincoln.
They are everywhere.
I mean,
let's just move along.
All right.
Moving on.
Well, let's get back to the wrestling coach, Coach Dietrich. Big tournament coming up Thursday, Friday. We're going to, Cheap Seats, WLCN Sports, we're going to come out and do some coverage. You're asking for volunteers. As far as volunteering for, what do you need help with?
We need on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. We have to set up the gym, so we got to throw 6 mats down. We use both gyms for this tournament because we went to this new format. We needed to be able to run more matches through, and so we'll set up 6 mats. Anybody that's available 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesday, you can just contact me. We've got Railer Wrestling Facebook page. You can send me an email at jdietrich@lchsrailers.org. If anybody's interested. Most of the wrestling people have my email and contact info. And then if you want to work the tournament, I mean, we can find stuff for people to do. So it's kind of a big deal. And the other one thing I'll plug real quick, we are hosting the sectional this year.
That's
which
fun.
I'm very excited about that. It's been something that we've wanted to host for a long time, and I'm really excited about it. So I hope we can get a good crowd. And
maybe Sam helped us with that.
Right, yeah.
Now you're saying you're using the front gym, the back gym. Do you have to bring other mats in? Because obviously you don't have enough.
We used to, and we were very blessed. The school helped us out.
Okay.
Last year we still had to go get a mat from the college. Lincoln College always helped us out. And where
that's an easy move, isn't it?
Right. Oh yeah, just a blast. Getting 15 high school kids together and move a 1,500-pound wrestling mat in 10-degree weather in January. But yeah, no, we're very blessed that we have 6 mats and we can get all those down. We'll use them all, and yeah. So, but then the sectionals we'll only use 4. But it's our sectional. I mean, I think we've got a great gym for it, great hotels. We'll have 32 teams here for the sectional. I mean, it'll be a big deal, and it should help out the town. And I mean, I hope the hotels do really well with it. I hope restaurants and local businesses.
You say how many teams?
32.
Yeah. 32 teams.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So
and is this
that's how you get to state?
Is this a weekend thing?
Yeah, it'll be a Friday, Saturday, second weekend in February.
Really?
I want to say February 9th and 10th. Sounds right to me.
Don't
but
look at him. He
don't quote me on the dates, but it's the second weekend, Friday and Saturday.
So that's something that Lincoln's never done before?
To my knowledge, I don't believe so.
I think we did have it one time, a long time ago. I think we did. But
yeah, 9th and 10th. Yeah, I think back in the Floyd B days.
I also think that...
I'll tell you, I don't have a year, but I think we had it one year long time ago.
I remember a regional here. But I do
and you
think,
know what? Maybe it was a regional.
I do think Coach Lawrence told me that he thinks that they had a sectional here once.
We had one when I was in school.
Yeah, probably back in the early mid-'90s. So, but honestly, I hope we got 4 or 5 guys wrestling in it. I mean, we've got the talent, and we have guys that could do it. It's just going to be the next 6 weeks will tell us, you know.
And you talk about a fun place to be. That's a fun place to be because those kids,
exactly.
That's how they get to state.
Yeah,
and that is it. You win there, you get to state, and it's very emotional. They get it's exciting.
Yeah, Coach, another good thing that you've done for your kids. I ran into a few of them the other night. You put them out in the community, ringing a bell.
I was meant to bring that up.
Yeah,
I was at the old Walmart the other night, and Austin O'Donoghue was out there. They're having a good time.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, we split up over 6 spots. We had Lincoln IGA, 2 spots at Walmart, Walgreens, Big R, and Kroger. And we had about 3 to 5 kids and an adult with everyone. And I apologize for the singing.
Key. You had an adult with them.
Yes. And I do apologize for the singing that the Pots and Pans marching band that was going on.
It was pretty brutal, but they
you know what? Hats off to you getting them out there doing
absolutely.
that.
Get them out in the community. That's good for them.
I appreciate it. Well, and honestly, I mean, this community does a lot for us. I mean, we do some business sponsorship opportunities in the spring, and we've been very blessed, and the amount of support that we've received in the last several years from the community and the school has been awesome. And I'm happy to be a part of being able to get these guys out there, and we had a good talk with them about why stuff like that's important. Why
it would have been better if they were in their
and singlets.
Singlets.
We'll remember that.
And it wasn't real cold, so it wasn't. No. It wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been too brutal.
And then the adult sponsor with them would have been in the singlet.
Yes.
And you know what?
I want to see Bo O'Donoghue. I want to see Bo O'Donoghue in a
helpful in one. Yes.
He's listening right now, so maybe we.
He's not even up yet.
He's up. I'm texting him. He's listening. I don't know why, but. Coach, thanks for coming on today. Some big things going on in Lincoln wrestling. Just seems to be a sport it's growing, you know, and it's in Lincoln it's getting real popular.
Yeah, thank you. And honestly, we've worked really hard. There's a lot of people in the community that we've worked really hard to get the program where it's at right now, and all the way from Walt Landers and his whole group with the youth, and Alex Dawson at the junior high, and just people helping from all different directions, helping financially, helping volunteer time, helping get kids moved around, and just supporting us. I mean, it's been really fun, and it's been really humbling to be a part of for the last 5 years, because we feel good about it, and we feel that we're still on the rise. I feel that over the next several years we can be a really good team. So
absolutely,
it'll be fun.
It will be.
Get out to the tournament.
Yeah, we'll be out there Friday with some coverage, and hopefully see a lot of Lincoln victories, and we'll get an interview with the kids after they come off the mat. And
get them right away.
Right in the moment, the heat of the moment.
Yeah, catch that emotion.
Hopefully it's a win, because after a loss, usually, it's. But it'll be fun. I've never seen a wrestling match, so it'd be my first time.
Awesome.
And
maybe some editing.
Maybe some Eddie. Boy, this guy's going to
go live.
And there
Just
might
go
be a-
Facebook Live with it.
a celebrity match out there if they could.
That's the worst that can happen.
We'll be in singlets, filming, and then afterwards there'll be a celebrity wrestle-off.
Yes, there will.
All right, Coach, thanks for taking some time. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you for
Good luck
having
in the tournament, and we'll get you on again down the road.
Yeah.
Maybe get some seniors in or some state qualifiers,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
we'll go from there.
Awesome.
Or both. All right. That's going to do it for us today at Joe Ryan Country Financial. I'd like to thank everybody tuning in. Going to be off next week. Take a week off.
Recharge the battery.
Recharge the batteries.
Not going to eat with you. I'm gonna recharge the batteries.
And then the next show will be January 6th. Going to be a show dedicated to Coach Alexander. So any former...
So it's going to be a lot like most weeks.
Yeah.
He's funny.
With an extension. So tune in January 6th, the big day around Lincoln, Illinois. Everybody, I hope you have a happy and safe Christmas, New Year's.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
And
So long.
might be a white Christmas. So we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Good day.